Please call the roll.
Trustee Caprio?
Present.
Trustee Ryder? Present. Trustee Sweet?
Present.
Trustee Darian?
Present.
Mayor Lukich?
Present. I need an approval, a motion to approve the, or wait, are there any amendments to the agenda first? Nope, okay. All right, we need approval of the minutes, so is there a motion to approve the minutes from April 13th, 2016 village board meeting?
I so moved.
Second.
Second, any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right. Next will be reports and communications from the mayor and other officers. I'll start. Will County is now offering electronic recycling at the Lockport drop-off location. The Lockport Public Works electronic recycling drop-off location reopened on May 10th to Will County residents. Tuesday and Friday only, from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Only 2 TVs per vehicle are allowed. The address for this site is 17112 Prime Boulevard, east of I-55, Lockport, Illinois, and the lines are cut off at 11 a.m. Front door service is available through A-Team Recyclers for $60 per TV. If you are interested in the service, please call 1-800-600-3608. And for more information, visit www.willcountygreen.com. Second, we're happy to announce that the Lamont Car Club will have their first classic car cruise event of the season this Sunday, May 15th from 4 to 7. The event will take place at the Big R parking lot located at 159th and Bell. This event will have antique, classic, specialty autos on display for the general public to view. More information about the event can be found on the village's website at homerglenhill.org. Third, we went by the new village hall today. They've advanced very far with the building. They are in the process of finishing the drywall. The tapers are out. They already started painting the interior of the building. We've got the furniture almost set. We're almost ready to lock that up, but we still should be in on time, which would be any time after June 15th. So if anyone does want to see it, they can go online and they can get all the pictures of the updates. They do it every day. With that, we'll go to the trustees. You sure you don't want to move down here? No, okay. All right, Trustee Berry, do you have any report?
I have no report, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Caprio.
I'll just report on the behalf of the Parade and Festival Committee that don't forget the Homer Fest is scheduled for Thursday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 26th. Please call the Homer Township office if you'd like to volunteer or know any volunteers, and we'll have more communication on that coming in future board meetings. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Suisse.
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting for the Environment Committee. Weather permitting, the spring replacement tree planting will commence on Friday, and the locations have already been joined. In honor of our Arbor Day, the Environment Committee has planted a green mountain sugar maple at the library. We would like to thank Tierling Nursery and Instant Shade for their assistance. A ceremony will take place in the next week or two, and information will be posted on the village website. The 9th annual Earth Day Arbor Day event will take place next Saturday, May 21, from 11 until 4 p.m. at Kona's Farm, located at 16849 Cedar Road in Homer, Glen. There will be exciting exhibits, demonstrations, craft and vendor sales, and food to check out. The entertainment schedule starts at 11 with Big Run Wolf Ranch, 12:30 Cold-Blooded Creatures, 2 p.m. Monkeys and More, and 3 p.m. Northern Illinois Raptors Rehab. We would like to thank our sponsors, Meyer, Home Depot, Brent Marr Landscaping, Apple Chevrolet, Dan Kenny Homes, New Way Homewood Disposal and Willowbrook Ford for their support of our Earth Day Arbor Day event. There is free admission and parking with the grain train shuttling attendees to and from the parking lot. Please join us on May 21 for a fun and entertaining time. That concludes, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Rogers.
I have nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. Village Treasurer.
No report.
Okay. Village Clerk.
Yes, thank you. I just want to announce that my deputy clerk, Kathy Carrick, is leaving the village and moving on to future endeavors. The last day will be next week, and I want to express my gratitude to her. She's an outstanding employee and has done an exemplary job. I'm very emotional. She's performed dual roles. She's also the village's office manager. Her presence will be greatly missed, especially by me, because she seemed to have psychic abilities and sensed my every need. Having her by my side in my first year as clerk, extremely positive, and I wish her the best.
Thank you. One other thing before I go to the village attorney. They burnt down the house on Bankston's farm area today, and there were two reasons. The house was in disarray, it would have cost too much to fix, plus the tax bill was $58,000 a year for the house. So they didn't want the house to sit, because there was no sense in paying for something that you couldn't even use. So for all the people that said they don't understand why, now you know. All right, village attorney.
No report, Mayor.
Anything, Brian?
No report, sir.
And Heather.
I just wanted to report that last month, when the village board approved the village code, we now have the electronic version available through our website. So when you go on our homepage and you click on village code, you go to the top of the page and it will explain a little bit about our code. You click on the link, it'll take you directly to the code page. All of our new laws that have not been codified as of yet will be listed underneath the tab entitled New Laws. If anyone has any questions about this or experiences any difficulty, please feel free to contact the office and we'd be happy to help anyone through it.
Thank you very much. The next section will be public comments. If you could keep it to 3 minutes, we would appreciate it. But if it takes longer, we understand. We have 4 tonight. We will start with John Coy.
John Coy, Homer Glen. Had a couple things. I was going through the newspaper and all of a sudden I said, boy, this one section's pretty thick. And all of a sudden I'm looking between homes, judicial sales and all the rest of this stuff and foreclosures, there's 12 and a half pages of them. I'm like, this is getting worse. It's not getting better. And then all I hear is people wanting to spend money on things. It's kind of disheartening when you see something like this, and then all of a sudden, if you put 2 and 2 together, we are, which I do see, new construction going on. I agree, we're probably getting more permits now than we've had, 5 years, 8 years? But it still doesn't mean that this is going to stop, like everybody keeps saying, the government says. And I think we better start taking care of our money. This might get to somebody that listens or watches this on TV. I went to a brokerage and I asked them for a little information on Illinois American Water. Everybody by this time should know that they're going to raise our rates on the sewer approximately $30-some. I don't know exactly how much, but anyway, $30 a month is a lot of money. Then when I get this, and he says to me, the funny part is he said, well, they're looking for raises in this stuff? I said, yes. So I said, well, turn here to this page before the last one, 2011, with a $10,000 investment. Now, 2011, 5 years later, 2016, that investment will be worth $28,200. That's pretty close to 3 times what you invested. And they're looking to raise our portion. And I don't know why. we need a little help with this, which I talked to John this afternoon about trying to find some comparables with this. That when we do send somebody or we go in person to talk to the ICC, we have something that says, why can they turn around and in 5 years almost triple somebody's investment in their company and then expect us to pay almost double for our sewer and our potable water? It's getting crazy with them people. But anyway, we need to do our due diligence with this and then try and do something about it, you know, and I know we're planning on going to Springfield, so this would be an ideal piece of information to present to the board there and say, why can they pay their investors 3 times in 5 years what they invested? It's just not feasible that any company could be able to do that, and it's a public utility, not a private, well, it's a private one, taking the money from the public. Thank you.
And John, we are working on it right now. We have a letter drafted to go out to every municipality that has anything to do with Illinois American Water in the state of Illinois. We've got Margot McDermott, who has already written letters to the state, so they understand exactly what we're going through and what we're paying. So, and we still have the suit with them, which all this will help to show that they're...
The suit and all the rest of this stuff, but it doesn't have apples for apples. Like, here's the money that they're spending, our money that we're investing to their shareholders and stockholders, and with that, and then they're saying that they're doing this all on infrastructure. Geez, they might do some infrastructure for me to, you know, I would say they're doing more out of our community, but they want our money. So,
If you could get us a copy of that, I'd appreciate it. Something else so we can bring downstate with us. And we are going downstate as soon as they have an appointment with the ICC. Because the date hasn't been set yet.
all right, thank you.
Thank you. John Antonopoulos?
It was close.
Okay.
John Antonopoulos, Mr. Mayor and council members, I'm an attorney representing the Volteros. It's the item that's first on your agenda. I'm just here to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Thank you. So TJ and Renee Johnson, okay. It's not hard to talk in front of people. All right, and then Bill, same thing? Okay. All right.
And I can talk about it.
See, it's easy. All right, what we'll do is as soon as that comes up, then we'll bring you up here for the questions that we have, okay? All right, that's all set. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into legislation and action items. And the first one is, I need a motion to approve ordinance number 16-015, an ordinance granting approval of 1, a variation to reduce the required minimum lot frontage from 270 feet to 15 feet. 2, a variation to reduce the required minimum lot width from 300 feet to 165 feet for an existing parcel of land in the E2 single-family rural residential district for certain real property located at 15811 West 139th Street, Homer Glen, Illinois. Louis J. Voltaro and Faye A. Voltaro, co-trustees of the Voltaro Family Declaration of Trust dated July 18th, 1997. Case number HG-1604-V.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
That's second.
Okay. Discussion.
Yes. I would like, I know I voted against this back in 2013, and I don't think I've changed, even though this keeps going forward. Director Schwartz, can you explain, can you explain a little bit about this? Plus, I want to know Section 1 from the 2006 ordinance, those conditions that we were looking at.
Sure. You just want like a summary of what was approved in '06? In your packet, I know there's a lot of paperwork on this case because it has a history to it. And just in quick summary for the audience, there was a 2006 request to rezone the property from agricultural to E2 estate, which is 2.5 acre lots. It's a 5 acre piece. At that time, there was in '06, there was a variance granted for the lot width. A variance only lasts for 1 year, so the variance expired because they weren't building on the property. So in 2013, the same applicants came back through and again were this time reapproved for 2 variances, one for the lot width and also for the frontage, which was a new zoning requirement. Then that variance expired after a year because no construction activity had occurred. All variances expire after 1 year if there's no permit issued. So now we're fast forwarding to 2016 where we are today. Same applicant, also again re-requesting the same 2 variances that were granted in 2013. One being a reduction of the lot width from 300 feet to 165 feet. That's the width measured at where the house is set back. Then there's also the variance related to the frontage of the property on the road, and that is only 15 feet. And the code requires 270. So that's kind of the history of 2006, 2013, and then the current case. In 2006, there were 3 conditions attached in the ordinance, and that's ordinance 06-022. Condition 1, that the variance being granted at that time was subject to the 2 parcels being created, being limited to 1 shared access on 139th Street. Number 2, prior to the issuance of a building permit, that there be evidence of a recorded perpetual ingress, egress easement or a cross-access easement for the shared access and driveway. And 3, that prior to the issuance of a building permit, that the applicants provide a grading plan and stormwater management plan for review and approval by the village staff. Those conditions that were in '06 are not in your ordinance this evening. We're happy if a motion is made to amend the motion to put them back in, but I have to say that with a caveat because condition number 2, that there be 1 shared access, would require that the new house that the applicants would like to, the property they'd like to sell, would share a driveway with a driveway that's already there and belongs to someone else. So in '06 it made sense because there was 1 5 acre tract, 1 house, single ownership, Volterells, and they were committing to that both lots basically share that driveway. Today, my understanding is that the front house that's there and built and has their own driveway is a separate owner, not part of the Volterell family. So it would be somewhat complicated to include condition number 2 again, because they don't have control over that, and the owner could say, no, we want you to have your own driveway. And the idea back originally in 2006 was that we don't have 2 curb cuts with driveways right next to each other on 139. The idea was, okay, you're asking for the variances, you're the one that owns the whole 5 acres. The condition is that you will have 1 shared driveway for both of the lots that are being created. So there are 3 conditions in the '06 ordinance. Happy to, if the board wants to amend the motion to draft, I would basically bring back the mayor's signature if the motion is to approve this. Craft those and put those back in. But again, condition 2, that they must share an access, must share a driveway, is somewhat complicated by the fact that we have 2 different owners.
Are you talking about condition 1 you're talking about?
Yeah, I'll just read it again. Condition 1 in '06 was that the 2 parcels being created at that time shall be limited to 1 shared access on 139th Street. So yeah, condition 1 is complicated today. Condition 2 is that prior to issuance of a building permit, that there be evidence of basically a recorded document showing that there's going to be cross-access between these 2 properties. And condition 3 is essentially something that we would check as part of the building permit. Prior to issuance of a building permit, they must provide a grading plan and a stormwater management plan for review and approval by the village staff. That 3rd condition can certainly be put back in. The first 2, though, are difficult because we have different ownership now on the front house.
Have you talked to the neighbor of the property to see if they would allow the same driveway to be used?
It's not my property. It's on.
Oh, sorry.
Councilman, I'd like to know, does the tree ordinance applies, correct?
The tree ordinance would not apply to these individual 2.5 acre lots.
Mike, would you consider these to be flag lots then? That's what they're looking
The,
at.
the back lot is a flag lot. It was de-divided in 2006. So what does that mean? That basically the owner of the original 5 acres, I pointed that way, but the Volterals, and they're represented by Mr. Antonopoulos. The Volterals owned the original 5 acres, got approval in '06 of the rezoning to E2, which is minimum 2.5 acre lot size, got approval of the variance on the lot width, and then were basically approved under this ordinance to do a deed division to create the 2 lots, which they've since sold off the front to another party. And so the remainder, the subject that you're considering tonight is the back flag. The front is not a flag.
Correct.
The front is a rectangular, has some amount of frontage. The flag lot that only has the 15 foot it's in the shape of a flag because it kind of wraps around the front piece.
So all this was previously approved, so this is basically an extension with possibly that number 3 in there.
Correct.
Which is
Correct. If it was the pleasure of the board to direct us to modify the ordinance that's before you tonight, we would certainly have no problem putting in condition 3 that prior to a building permit, they have to submit a grading plan for a house anyway. The only extra would be that they provide a stormwater management plan for the village engineer to review. But the conditions 1 and 2, which made sense in 2006, are complicated today because there's a different party that owns the house in front.
Okay, so, another question. Has anyone talked to the neighbor that's in front?
Just a little bit of background. I represented the Volterals back in 10 years ago when the village authorized the division of these lots. I mean, flag lots, I know are not encouraged today, but back then they were pretty common. The neighbor next door has a flag lot. The village approved it. The Volterals moved to Florida, sold a lot to an individual, and that individual went bankrupt. So we were forced now, what do we do? The guy didn't take out a permit, so we're back here. So we're asking just to be the same thing, something that was approved 10 years ago. What would we do with this lot? It's a 2.5 acre lot. It's a beautiful piece of property ready to be developed. So I mean, we're kind of in an awkward position. I don't know what we would do if the village decided not to grant the variance. So we're not asking for anything new that was already approved.
So who owns the property now then?
Mr. and Mrs. Volterro, they live in Florida. Mrs. Volterro is suffering some dementia. She's having some health problems. They've been out of the area for a couple of years, but they've lived in Lamont, Homer Glen for probably 30 years.
All right, so the Volteros sold the front lot, they own the back lot.
They actually own they own the 5 acres, and their house was on the front 5 acres. They went to the village, got approval, they sold that 2.5 acres and kept the back 2.5 acres. They were originally going to sell it to their son, who then also moved to Florida. So then they were stuck with this 2.5 acres. They came back in front of the village board, and they agreed to grant them the variances.
So who's going to build on this lot?
We have a buyer, a cash buyer, who's ready to build a house. But we don't have to go through the same, hopefully not to go through a variation for the 3rd time.
Well, the issue that you have is with them selling the front of the property, there's already a driveway going up to the house. And if they own the property, they have to give you a right to be able to use the driveway, to share the driveway.
We have access. We have no problem with access. We have a 15-foot access, and we granted, I don't know if you have a copy of the cross-access easement. We have a cross-access easement that we already granted to the adjoining property owner. So access is not an issue.
Yeah, I should mention, there is in your packet, and I think that was attached to the Plan Commission memo, as one of the attachments, there is a cross-access easement that is already in place.
So the mayor's question, the answer to the mayor's question is that it's already in place.
It's already in place. That's
The
correct.
easement is in place, the extension of the driveway would still need to occur.
All right, but that wouldn't have anything to do with the state not wanting two cuts in 139th Street because they already have the cut they could use to go back to the property. They'd have to extend the driveway.
That's correct.
So I guess just clarifying my earlier conversation about these three conditions that were attached in 2006, they've essentially, through the creation of that easement document, and I should have mentioned it earlier, it's attached again to the Plan Commission memo in your packet. Conditions 1 and 2 are somewhat moot, would you say? Because the agreement is there. So I don't know if it's necessary to reaffirm them in this new ordinance. You could. But for certainly condition 3, we have no issue with. That could, if you want, that could be added into your ordinance that's in front of you this evening.
Well, what you had said before for number 1 and number 2, that there was nothing you can't put them back in, but you don't need to put them in, it's already done.
That is correct. They are already in there.
So, you know,
We recorded that right after the board approved it initially.
I mean, ultimately, 139th Street is a village street, and the village staff has the right to approve driveway permits.
but they don't need a driveway permit if the driveway's already there, they need an extension.
Right.
So-
I mean, theoretically, they've got 15 feet, they could request their own driveway,
Well, I don't think that's,
but I don't think that's.
15 feet is enough.
that's spending money that doesn't need to be spent. I don't have an issue with it.
So the only question is, of the conditions that were incorporated in the ordinance in '06, would the board want to add in condition 3 into the current ordinance before you this evening? I mean, the only thing.
Michael, I think it's already in there. I mean,
Yeah.
we have to comply with that.
We'd have to clarify, but I think we should add it.
I agree.
I mean, they would need a grading.
If
they
it's
would
already
need to
there,
s-
fine.
They would need to submit a grading plan. The third condition is basically that prior to issuance of a building permit, they have to submit a grading plan
Right.
and a stormwater management plan.
Right.
The grading plan would be required as part of the building permit.
Yeah, I mean, that's a given, because you can't spill the water on someone else's property. Like I said, I have no issue with it.
So it's just the stormwater portion of it that, you know, if you want to make that, carry that forward as a condition, you could.
Mike, can I just clarify a couple things? 1, without the variance, unbuildable, correct?
Correct.
Okay. 2, we're not asking for any variances tonight with the potential for amendment with point 3 that are different than what we've approved twice previously. Not we, but the village.
Correct.
Okay.
I just want to add that I live on a flag lot, so I'm going to abstain. I think there's a conflict here for me.
Well, we have quorum right now. That'd be fine. I understand.
I'm fine with it as long as we add condition 3 back in.
That's fine with me. Covers this. Any other discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Well, do we have to amend it for?
We
Well,
should amend it to 3.
Okay, so,
I would make a motion to
Okay.
approve with amending condition 3.
I'll second.
the original motion. Yes. Okay, now, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Abstain.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Barry?
All right.
Motion carries.
Madam Clerk, can you also have the mayor vote, this will be a 4-vote amendment?
Sure, yeah, you could.
Aye.
Just like to thank the mayors and the village board. You've been very courteous, very bright staff. They've been very helpful, been very forthright. I really a pleasure doing business with the village of Homer Glen.
Supposed to say that before they vote.
All right. Second, Consider for approval ordinance 16-016, an ordinance granting approval of a variance from the exterior construction standards of section 6.13.1 EII of the zoning ordinance to permit the use of fiber cement board on the first floor of a proposed single-family residence for certain real property located at 14638 West Spring Creek Road, Homer, Glen, Illinois. Renee Johnson on behalf of William and Anita Sokolis, case number HG-1606-V.
Also moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion.
Can we hear from Mr. Baker regarding his thoughts on it? Because, I mean, this is against our normal building material on the first floor. This is not an agricultural zoned area.
There are a lot of similar type houses in that area, the farm type style with that type of exterior material. So I believe it would match a lot of the other properties and type of homes in that general area. It's an old section of the village, so it's not uncommon for those types of materials to be used in that area. Fiber cement board too is a pretty common material that is typically low maintenance, so it's a pretty good product as well. And it adds to the character of that style of home.
Can we just hear from the petitioner, your thoughts, why you're going this route? Hi.
Hello, my name's Renee Johnson. We realized the variance request. We've gone through this with my parents' home twice before. When my husband and I decided to build, we wanted a modern farmhouse look, and really brick or stone wasn't going to match what was in our style and idea of this. I graduated with a degree in design, and so it was really in my heart to go with what's aesthetically pleasing to the whole look. So we are doing brick on the lower foundation part where the walkout basement is, just because the fiber cement board going all the way down to the ground, it's almost like 3 floors, would just be overkill. So we are going to do that. We're going to paint it the color of the home so it looks all uniform. But it's really just aesthetically pleasing to us.
This is on 2.5 or 2.6 acres?
Correct. And we're going with the fiber cement board because it's low maintenance. Being in a wooded lot, we don't want to deal with cedar, rotting, woodpeckers, all of that. So.
Okay.
How far were you going to build this house back? Because you've got a lot of trees on the property too.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm sorry, could
There's a
you?
lot of trees on the property, so
Yes.
how far were you going to build back? Did you plan on knocking down some trees and building the house in the middle?
There was a house on the property a few years back, and the house is actually going to be put almost exactly in that place. Although the foundation from the original home is completely demolished, it just worked out with water and septic and all of that. So it's no different than what it was before. You can see it from the road if there's no trees with leaves, but right now it's not visible where it would go.
Probably 250 foot back,
Yeah.
200 feet.
Any other questions?
No, this is essentially hardy board type
Yes.
material.
Right, Hardy Board was just the brand. We just said fiber cement board just in case, but yes.
Anyone else?
I just had a question for Mr. Baker. Is this material as safe as brick? Is it about the same?
Yeah, it's a fiber-based cement board, low
Okay.
maintenance. So it's used more common recently. It's a good alternative to like a vinyl siding, which is a much cheaper material.
And you said there's others in that area, so that would kind of blend in with the
Very much so.
area.
Yeah.
250 feet off the street too. I don't think they have to blend into
It'll
it.
blend in with the trees.
So, any other questions?
Mayor, I just want to add for the record too, there's a condition in this ordinance in your packet, and the condition is from the Plan Commission, and it states that the final design plan submitted for building permit will essentially be in substantial conformance with the sort of preliminary design concept that's presented in your packet.
Okay. Yeah. So with that being said, with the recommendation from the planning committee, we can insert that in the motion, but it has to be there. So, any other questions? Do we have to?
Is that in the ordinance?
Whoever made the
Go
motion.
ahead.
But it's already,
Carla
it's
made the-
it's in
It's
your,
in there.
it's in the ordinance.
It's in the
Oh,
ordinance.
It's,
okay.
the
It's already
ordinance
existing.
that you have in your packet has that
So
language.
there's no need to amend the motion.
Okay, no. So all it would be is, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet? Aye. Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Motion carries. You're all set.
Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome.
Can I do her?
Three, is there a motion to approve Resolution 16-007, a resolution approving the release of letter of credit number 68090-479 from Meyer Great Lakes Limited?
I so move.
Trustee Sweet,
I'll second.
trustee Cass. Gabriel. Any discussion?
I would just, maybe just a quick explanation for the public from Director Sports. I'm sorry, Salomon.
Basically what this is for the new Meyer store. As part of the village's ordinance requirements, Myers was required to provide a letter of credit for various public improvements to secure that construction. In August of 2014, they had completed that work and were allowed to reduce the letter of credit to 10% of the total amount of the letter of credit, which was $47,440, and that basically is in place for 2 years, and that covers any defects in material and workmanship. Staff has since provided a inspection on the site. They are approaching the end of their warranty period. Everything was in good condition. There were no problems with defects in any kind of material and workmanship, so therefore, at their request also, and in, again, staff's inspection, we are recommending that it be released in full.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
One of the things that we discussed at A&F, my concern was the condition of the ring road that goes around there. I've been there a lot of times where there's potholes, it's not being maintained right, the lights are off. That's not part of this.
Yeah. Okay, with that being said, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Motion carries. 4, is there a motion to approve a one-time contribution of $1,000 to the Will County Center for Community Concerns, WCCCC, to support their programs and services? What they do is they help out a lot of residents in Homer Glen and all the surrounding neighborhoods. So for the last few years, we have been doing it, and just to give you a rough idea, last year, Homer Glen received $40,962.91 in direct client assistance, utilizing 97 of the services that they support. So it's definitely a good community, it's a good way to support the program. So,
I so move.
okay. Trustee Caprio, second.
Second.
Trustee Rogers, any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 5, is there a motion to approve Resolution 16-008, a resolution approving the release letter of credit number 2014-1600 for the Hidden Cove subdivision?
So moved.
Trustee Barry,
I'll second.
Trustee Rogers, any discussion?
I was just wondering, is all the improvements completed and?
Correct. This one was a little bit unique, and what had happened was the original developer, the subdivision went into foreclosure. The bank took back the development. They hired a different developer to complete the public improvements. Everything has since been completed. And again, going back August of 2014, after everything was completed, we went to the warranty period. We're nearing the end of that warranty period again, and we've done inspections, everything is in good shape.
And this is the yes, this is the property with the dam?
Correct.
And is that part of the letter of credit?
The dam is not part of the letter of credit. What it is the dam is permitted under the IDNR currently it's permitted to the developer that owns the remaining lots. Ultimately, what will happen is when the development is completed and as the establishment of the HOA, the permit for the dam will actually be issued to the HOA.
Their responsibility
Now,
to
there are,
keep that.
yeah, there are stipulations in there that, you know, if we need to do any kind of maintenance and monitoring as well, there's easements for us and provisions for us to do that as well. But the permitting will be through the HOA then.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Motion carries. H6, is there a motion to approve TRIA Architects invoices for professional services related to the Village Hall renovation project in the total amount of $72,587.10?
I so move.
Trustee Caprio,
I'll second.
Trustee Sweet, any discussion? This is, we're paying the architect for what they've done with the plans for the new Village Hall, and this gets them close to being paid off. So, no other discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 7. Is there a motion to approve March 2016 Mahoney Silverman and Cross LLC legal bills in the amount of $3,997.50?
So moved.
Trustee Barron,
A second.
Trustee Rogers, any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. This is a discussion only. The Parks and Recreation Committee recommends the following 6 names to be considered by the Village Board, which would be Heritage Park, Homer Glen Village, Village Green, Homer Glen Community Park, Veterans Park, Inspiration Park, and Harmony Park. The attached spreadsheet summarizes all of the names considered by the Parks and Recreation Committee. The 6 selected names are highlighted. Veterans Park and Harmony Park have been suggested more than once. So, is there any discussion?
I'm sticking to my personal favorite.
Well, I believe what Trustee Costa said before, if it's a generic name, and then we can incorporate some of these other names into the park in different areas and sections. So I don't know, I personally I think they're all great names. And without Christina here, that's hard because she's part of parks.
Well, we're not going to vote on it right now.
No,
but
we're just
so
discussing. Yeah.
it'd be nice at least if we get an idea of what people would like.
I like the Homer Glen Village Green, I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
Yes.
that's what I was gonna say.
And then the idea of splitting up different areas using, other names.
I like that too, so. All right, then what we'll do is we will set it up. We can talk to Christine and then we can set it up for a vote.
Mayor, if I may, I remember at the last meeting when we had a discussion, she brought up the fact that she was happy with all the names, but she would prefer a name that had green in it. So on the right track. Staff is just looking for direction as to what you would like for the park to be called. We understand that you are looking to break it up into the different sections with the different names. We're looking for more of a consensus as to which name you wanted.
Well, Carl,
I like Harmony Park, that's just my,
for the overall park?
yes.
Okay.
That's just,
John? I'm sorry, sure. what
Oh,
was
I'm sorry. No, I like the Village Green, Homer Glen Village Green. It's
it? Okay.
pretty cute.
Beth?
I like both those ones. You want me to pick one?
at some point we'll have to.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I like the green, I like the idea because it was a golf course and I
Yeah.
love to golf, so I like that.
And I'll agree there that the Village of Homer Glen, or Homer Glen Village Green is good because that's exactly what it is. And it labels the whole place, and then from there we can name off. Okay, Brian?
Are we looking for a decision tonight, or are we looking
No,
just
discussion.
for?
Just a consensus.
Personally, I think they're all great. Have we, I know we've done this before, but have we read all 6 tonight? Did I miss that?
You read all 6 at
Okay.
the beginning, but we can go through them again if you'd like.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure that I personally like Heritage Park, and I think the explanation, and I think it was suggested by Anonymous. I wasn't anonymous. No one else was anonymous. Yeah, I like the reasoning behind it. It's personal preference, but I think they're all great.
Well, that's 2 and 2. I'm not sure to break a tie right now, so.
And the idea of, as we design out the park, to name sections incorporating all of these names, I think makes all the sense in the world. And so I like the Village Green.
Yeah, I'm not gonna vote against anything.
Yeah,
I think whatever we name it, we just successfully agree on it. I just like harmony because it's in community and nature and harmony.
Right. Well, we do have it, you gotta remember, we're gonna be using every one of them.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's basically what we're just trying to name the park.
Right.
And then from there we go along. So at least we have consensus. So we're set with that for right now.
So Homer Glen Village Green.
Now, it was, as long as that was the majority, because you got 2, because he's got 1, he's got 1. Then when Christine and Mike get back, we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any new business? Executive session we're not going to have needed. Any and all other business. Tonight we would like to make the appointment of the village manager. Do we have?
In terms of what it would be, you'd be appointing, the mayor would be making an appointment of Mike Mertens, Mike is here, as the new village manager. So what the motion would need to be, would be a motion to approve the mayor's appointment and to authorize the execution of a contract subject to final attorney modification.
Okay. So we can vote on that tonight. So then I need a motion to approve.
To approve your appointment.
Yeah, to approve my appointment, Mike Woods,
And authorize the contract.
and authorize a contract.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
how do we know this man? How do the residents know this man? Does he live here?
No.
Huh.
No. And neither did anyone else that was a village manager here before. It's not a stipulation.
I realize that. I realize that.
Okay.
But it'd be nice to me get somebody from Homer that knows Homer.
Well, no one from Homer applied.
Someone.
So would I.
What a hell of a place we have, I'll tell you.
Well, Mike has been in the governmental end of it for 17 years at Tinley Park.
Can we explain a little bit about the process?
Yeah.
Actually, we have a motion that, well, actually, before we
So
start.
moved.
Second?
A second.
Okay, now discussion.
I can give you a little bit of an overview because the board asked me to kind of spearhead a little bit while this was going on. First of all, and we did a nationwide search. We actually put out articles.
Nationwide.
Yeah, I mean, we were getting applications we had a candidate from Italy that actually applied. But I believe there were more, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, there were
30-some?
90, I think we had 90 applicants. Yeah, close to 100 applicants. There was a committee assigned to review the applicants and to winnow the candidates down. There was the mayor, Mr. Costa, and Mr. Baber. They brought it down, reviewed all the candidates and brought it down to, I believe, were there
The first one was 5.
Yep.
Actually, I take that back. The first one was 15.
Correct.
We knocked it down to 5. We brought all 5 of them, to all 5 of them. And then we knocked it down to 3. And then we brought them in again for the whole board to be able to sit down with them. And at the end of it, the board made the decision, and this is where we're at.
Well, I realize it's very expensive, but given the fact that the old man is from Tinley Park, and Tinley Park is in chaos right now, I'm wondering if that's going to be brought here.
No, it won't be brought here at all.
You can guarantee that, I'm there?
Yeah, I can guarantee it.
Okay.
Tinley Park is in chaos right now because of something that came up, which the federal government is trying to make everybody do. They're asking us where we're gonna put it, because eventually, everyone's gonna have it. You don't have the whole village of Tinley that's up in arms. You have a small number of people that are up in arms. And I'm not gonna stop from having someone with a background like him, what he has done, and what he can do for this village, stop us. And as for letting the citizens know, it's very hard to do that, because a lot of people that apply for this job in the first place, they don't let somebody know that they're applying for the job, because they'll get fired from where they're at. So we can't bring it for them, but I would hope that by you putting us in office, that you understand we're gonna look for the best we possibly can. And this way it'll also help out our staff here. It gives people an understanding of how something will honestly work. With a village manager right now that is willing to work with everyone and talk to everyone, we didn't have that before, and we need it. And there's a lot of things coming forward, and in my opinion and the board's opinion, Mike was the best. And if you're figuring, I went through 36 of them, because some of them they had already taken out, because we had someone from Jimmy John's that applied, and they figured they were a manager of Jimmy John's, so they could handle this. So those they didn't give me because I don't have enough time to read all of it. I appreciate that they wanted to get a shot at it, but we narrowed it down. We went, like I said, from 15 people down to 10 people, then down to 5 people, then at the 3. And I'm sure Mike would be more than happy to answer any questions once he gets his feet wet. Let him come here, get to know everybody, and then from there, we'll be absolutely fine, Bob. You know how I love this village. I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to it, and we're not gonna let that happen. Any other discussion?
Yes,
Okay.
well, I think the board needs to look at the draft before it goes anywhere else. I think I was talking to Eric. And
Did you make the adjustments?
Most of them. There are still some tweaks that we have to go through.
Well, what we had discussed is in the process of being changed,
Okay,
so we're getting everything in order just the way we said we were going to have it. I don't know what else to, how else to explain it.
I mean, obviously, the modification, the things that we have discussed, any modifications would still be incorporated into that contract.
okay, so we can see it.
Mayor, if I could.
Yes?
Bob, to your point, let me first say, I think this was an incredibly difficult decision for the mayor and the board, something that wasn't taken lightly. A lot of time, a lot of thought, a lot of investigating, a lot of due diligence, I think, on all of our parts, to come to a decision that someone that we're held accountable at the end of the day for everything that happens in this village. But but we're not here every day, and we're not in the office every day, and we hold the staff accountable. And so to make a decision on village manager was, as I said, a very difficult one from a list of lots of qualified candidates. And what I would say is we shared, I'm not speaking for everyone, let me speak for myself. I shared your concerns about the situation in Tinley. Certainly, it's been in the papers, and it's not something that we don't want similar situation here in Homer. And I think after doing all of our individually, doing our homework and investigating and making phone calls and talking to people in Tinley, out of Tinley, people that have worked with Mr. Mertens in the past, people that have worked in Tinley, currently work in Tinley. I think it's a situation that I think we feel confident. Is there a risk in everything? There's risk in everything. I think for me personally, I think the potential rewards outweigh the risks. The experience that Mr. Mertens will bring to this village, I think are something that I think will absolutely benefit the village. I'm confident in the investigating and the background and the situation in Tinley to approve this for myself. I'll let others speak for themselves. But I would just say, Bob, we shared your concerns. Hours and hours and hours of homework and phone calls and all of those things till we got to a point where, as I said, everything in life is a risk reward, and there is risk. I believe that this board and the mayor would not allow situations that are occurring in Tinley right now to occur here. And at the end of the day, that's who you trust. And so I would say continue to give us the benefit of the doubt that we're making the best decisions we can make, and this is an important one for the future of this town. And that can't promise anything, but it will be borne out. And I think a hiring of this importance in this town, everything that could have been done was done, and I'm comfortable with the vote that I'll be making on this. All that said, another separate point I want to make is the job that our interim village manager has done over the last 8 months for this village was absolutely fantastic. And we're lucky to have someone as capable as Heather to help us get from our last village manager to what maybe our next village manager. And we haven't missed a beat with lots of big projects going on in this town. So none of this, I think, should reflect poorly on our interim village manager in any way. I think this is a point that I'm making, just more in general on this topic. But she's done a fantastic job, and I think will continue to do a fantastic job for this village. And again, the buck stops with us, and hold us accountable for our decisions. But allow us the opportunity to make the decisions and try and implement them the best way we see fit.
Well, one of the reasons that I'm concerned, and I appreciate you letting me talk in here, is Will County is not Cook County.
Tinley Park is. Tinley Park is Will County and Cook County, so we don't.
Is he in Will County?
Yes, it's Cook County and Will County.
No, wait a minute. I asked, is he in Cook County or in Will County?
Living wise?
Yes.
Lives in Cook County.
He's in Cook County.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. What I'm saying is, the experience that you had in Cook County as opposed to Will County is altogether different, and there you know it. So I want to make sure that we don't have a philosophy from Cook County to Will County. Now, you're backing it up, and you're saying this is the man. I'm not saying he's not the man. I just want to make sure that our residents know. You know, you guys never communicate. When you run your meeting, how many people are here? See? That's what I'm getting at. Our board, I know you're wide open. If anybody will come here, this room should be full when you make this appointment. Now, why Homer Glen residents don't feel that, I know why they don't. It's not going to mean anything to them. It's not going to change anybody's mind. You know, I believe me, in this regard, I'm a hawk. And nothing will go wrong. Heather has done her job. She deserves a lot more better treatment than what I believe she's getting.
And she will get it now.
That's it.
All right, but to your concern, Tinley Park is Cook County and Will County, so he knows what goes on in Will County also. And as for Heather, she's done a wonderful job. She's still going to be with us. She's not going anywhere. And now she has an opportunity to be able to learn everything that she needs to learn from someone who is much more outgoing and has done a lot of things for Tinley Park. So, Dennis?
One quick comment. A decision as important as this, don't you think you deserve the full board to be here?
The full board, well, I talked to Trustee Costa before he left. He's on board, and Christine also voted for him to be the one. So, yeah, they're on board.
As long as you officially know that.
We do know that.
Okay.
We wouldn't try to sneak anything past anybody. We don't do that. Are there any other comments?
I mean, just to reiterate some of Brian's comments and the fact that Heather has done a fantastic job. The buck does stop here. Mike, nor Heather, nor anybody else on the staff is going to make a willy-nilly decision without coming through us. So, at the end of the day, you blame us.
You're damn right.
Okay. So that being said, the approval is, make a motion to approve with the changes that we discussed with the contract.
I appreciate the question.
And
There's a motion.
okay. All right, so no more discussion, so could Madam Clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Suisse?
Abstain.
Trustee Barrian?
Aye.
Mayor Yukovich?
Aye. Motion carries. I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.